this time, I would hope that they would feel it so deeply that it would lift them to a higher place.
Gladys Knight is certainly a soul survivor. Knight began her career performing as a child and has never stopped. She had her first R&B #1 hit in 1961 with Every Beat of My Heart and continued having chart hits for the next 4 decades. While she's not always listed as the top soul singer of the 1960s, when other vocal greats list favorites, Knight is one of the names that often comes up first. But her life is also full of sorrows with many regrets. It is sad to see such a wonderful person going through hardships in life. As she said, "I don't regret any decisions I've made in my life. Let's discover her 80-year journey right now in this video, another victim of false death rumor." Acclaimed singer Gladys Knight became the latest celebrity to fall victim to an online death hoax in 2022. The Grammy-nominated artist's prolonged absence from social media contributed to the growing concern. However, it seems that she may have just been busy while preparing for an upcoming show. Rumors of Gladys Knight's death emerged from a YouTube channel named R&B Radio. The channel posted a video stating that they had received confirmation of Knight's death. R&B Radio has recently been trending online for spreading death rumors of several other celebrities, including actress Anne Margaret, singer Simon Le Bon, actor Tom Selleck, actress Anne Heche, and many more. The comments have been turned off for videos posted on the channel, which goes to prove that the news they have been spreading is not true. As the rumors of Knight's death went viral on the internet, people became concerned about her and reacted to the same on social media, even though her representatives did not reveal anything. Meanwhile, this recent incident goes to show we need to be more vigilant about the source when it comes to news. It is better that we rely on well-known, reputable sources instead of believing rumors spread by such YouTube channels. Gladys Knight was busy with her upcoming show at the Hulu Theater in Madison Square Garden. She was a special guest on the last tour of the O'Jays' Last Stop on the Love Train in 2022. Gladys Knight had gun pulled on her. Gladys Knight faced a harrowing experience when she was threatened at gunpoint by a racist. The legendary singer encountered a dangerous situation at a gas station during her early career. While traveling on the road with the Pips, Knight stopped at a petrol station where the attendant refused to fill up their car despite having paid in advance, solely due to her skin color. Knight, known for her outspoken nature at the time, confronted the attendant, who then drew a weapon on her. She recounted the incident to the media, saying, "The bravest thing I've ever done was early in my career when I was traveling on the road with the Pips. We stopped at a gas station and the man behind the counter refused to fill our car, even though we'd paid up front, because I was black. I was very outspoken in those days and started to argue with him, and he pulled a gun on me. I hate to think what might have happened if my friends hadn't pulled me away." Knight also shared that the lowest point in her life was the death of her beloved mother Elizabeth in 1997. She reflected on her mother's profound influence, saying, "The worst time of my life was when my mother Elizabeth died in 1997. She made me who I am today. As well as helping to launch my singing career, she shaped my character and taught me that we are all God's children, no matter what color we are." Despite these challenges, Knight expresses deep gratitude for her life and her current husband, William. She stated, "If I had half an hour left on earth, I'd look up to heaven and thank the Lord for the many great blessings He has given me. The blessing of song, of course, but most of all, my amazing husband. I was married 3 times before, and those relationships weren't always good. No one measures up to William, and I'm so grateful I met him." Gladys Knight finally found her happiness after multiple failed marriages. Legendary singer Gladys Knight is still going strong with her husband after more than 20 years of marriage. The Midnight Train to Georgia singer married William McDowell, a corporate consultant, in April 2001. Knight had met McDowell for 10 years, but married him in 2001 after only 3 months of dating. Knight's past relationships weren't always easy. The Empress of Soul was married 3 times before she tied the knot with McDowell, all of which ended in divorce. In 1960, Gladys Knight married James "Jimmy" Newman, an Atlanta musician and her high school sweetheart. Knight gained a lot of glories, but she suffered a great deal of pain as well, including assault when she was young. When she was a teen, she married her boyfriend, James Newman, because of a pregnancy. Unfortunately, Knight miscarried the baby in a hotel room while on tour, but later had 2 children, their son, James "Jimmy" Gaston Newman III, and their daughter, Kenya Maria Newman. During the early 1960s, Knight's family and the Pips relocated to Detroit, settling in the upscale Sherwood Forest neighborhood on the city's west side. Knight took a hiatus from touring to focus on raising their children while the Pips continued their tours. Newman eventually joined the group as their musical director. However, he struggled with drug addiction and left the family when Knight was 20. They remained married for over 12 years, separated for 7 years, and were officially divorced in 1973. Newman passed away a few years later. In 1974, Knight married Brian Hankerson, who also worked in the music industry. The two had a son together before they divorced in 1979. They moved to Atlanta around 1977, but their marriage ended in 1979, followed by a prolonged custody battle over their son. Knight spent over $1 million in her efforts to find Shanga after he was kidnapped. Years after that, Knight married motivational speaker Les Brown in 1995, but they split after 2 years together. Despite all the heartbreak, Knight never gave up on looking for love. She told the press in 2001, "Love is what makes the world go around. I know it's a big cliche to use, but it is the absolute truth." Despite their 14-year age difference, Knight has seemed to have found her forever in McDowell. The two seem inseparable, with McDowell often by Knight's side at her professional engagements. While the two never had kids, they keep busy with their 17 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren. William McDowell may be singer Gladys Knight's 4th husband, but it appears he was well worth the wait. The singer gushed in a 2019 anniversary Instagram post, "My life is so much better with you in it. You're the best thing that ever happened to me." McDowell shared that sentiment on his page, frequently posting about the woman he refers to as Queen. In one Instagram with Knight, McDowell wrote, "Always making memories that will last a lifetime," and in another, he simply captioned, "Living happy." When the two aren't gushing over each other, they're probably talking about music. Knight is, of course, a legendary singer who has won 7 Grammys over her decades-long music career. And, as it turns out, McDowell dabbles in music. He released the single Country Water in June. Knight lent her vocals for the chorus and had a cameo in the music video, which McDowell described as a fun time. The two also appear to enjoy giving back to their community together. The couple lives in McDowell's home state of North Carolina, where they have a nonprofit called the RHS Community Foundation and are working to build a community center. Recently, the couple held a COVID-19 vaccination drive. McDowell shared, "We know it's important to use our names for service." With so much in common and a strong adoration for each other, it appears Knight finally found her happily ever after. A disappointing son and a dead one. Many children of legendary stars have faced serious repercussions due to their misguided decisions, and despite their famous lineage, not even the allure of celebrity can shield them from their consequences. Unfortunately, Gladys Knight has joined the ranks of celebrity parents witnessing their child's legal troubles firsthand. Knight's son, Shanga Hankerson, owned a chain of chicken and waffles restaurants in Atlanta under the name Gladys Knight and Ron Winans' Chicken and Waffles. The chain, which has 3 locations in the Atlanta area, gained attention when one of its restaurants was featured on the Travel Channel's Man vs. Food. However, on June 21, 2016, authorities raided 2 of the restaurants and its headquarters as part of an investigation into unpaid taxes, penalties, and interest. Georgia Department of Revenue Special Investigations Chief Jeff Mitchell clarified that the investigation focused solely on Hankerson, not Knight. Special investigator Josh Waits reported that Hankerson was accused of stealing over $650,000 in sales and withholding taxes, with the total amount owed, including penalties and interest, exceeding $1 million. Hankerson pleaded guilty to these charges on July 21, 2021. In November of the same year, a judge sentenced him to 2 years in prison, 1 year of supervised release, and ordered him to pay restitution of over $1 million. Acting U.S. Attorney Kurt R. Erskine remarked, "Hankerson willfully disregarded his tax obligations for many years." The situation further escalated when Gladys Knight revealed that her son attempted to extort her during their legal battle. As Knight sought to resolve issues related to the restaurants bearing her name, Shanga's lawyer allegedly threatened to publicize her Alzheimer's diagnosis if she did not grant additional time to respond to the lawsuit. Despite this, Knight chose not to acquiesce, leading her son to file legal documents that suggested she was suffering from dementia or a lack of mental capacity. Knight has strongly denied these allegations, accusing her son of attempting to embarrass and harass her. She is fighting to maintain the default victory in the lawsuit, while Shanga Hankerson is seeking to have it overturned. Her other son, James III, died in his Las Vegas home on July 10, 1999. His cause of death was heart failure, according to Variety. He is survived by his wife, Micheline, 2 daughters, and 3 sons. Before her son's death, Gladys credited him and Kenya for encouraging her to join the Church of Latter-day Saints. "My son Jimmy and his wife were the first to join the church after his best friend shared his testimony," she said in June 2016. "Then my daughter, Kenya, joined the church. I watched their lives grow, and to see how my grandchildren were being raised and what they knew really impressed me." She used to be a gambler. During the late 1970s, Knight became addicted to gambling, winning and losing thousands of dollars a night. In an interview, she described how she became involved in gambling while playing casino games. Knight said, "One day a friend said, 'Do you want to play some blackjack?' So I played and enjoyed it. You think you can win everything, but you won't." Knight came to the realization that she had hit a low point when she realized that morning had arrived and she should have been preparing for her son's school day. The star had a rude awakening. After an unusually large bet cost her $60,000, she finally admitted she needed help and sought out Gamblers Anonymous, an organization that helps people recover from gambling addiction. They provided assistance to her, whence her recovery began. The legendary singer credited the divine intervention for her quick recovery. "I have a faith that is unbeatable," she said. "As far as my Lord and Savior is concerned, I try to go the way I'm supposed to. And when I fall short, I ask for help." Gladys Knight says she had the same disease as Aretha Franklin, but didn't mean cancer. The esteemed Empress of Soul, Gladys Knight, has recently confirmed her well-being by addressing misconceptions about her health. Contrary to earlier reports indicating pancreatic cancer, her representative clarified that she triumphed over stage I breast cancer and is currently cancer-free. It's crucial to emphasize that Gladys Knight is indeed free from cancer. Previous reports indicating she had pancreatic cancer were inaccurate. Her representative has verified her excellent health status, affirming she is entirely clear of any cancer diagnosis. Knight's clarification follows her shared moment of understanding with Aretha Franklin regarding their encounters with cancer. However, Knight's personal battle was with stage 1 breast cancer, a challenge she conquered successfully due to early detection. Knight's comment linking her illness to that of her late friend Aretha Franklin was not meant as a literal comparison. Rather, it was an expression of empathy and connection with Franklin, who tragically succumbed to pancreatic cancer. Gladys Knight sparked confusion when she made a comment about Aretha Franklin that many interpreted as an indication she was suffering from pancreatic cancer. During a video interview with a local news station at Franklin's memorial service, Knight shared a poignant memory of her last interaction with the Queen of Soul, whom she affectionately referred to as "our Queen," and my sister. Knight recounted, "The last time I talked to her, we were at the same hotel, and we didn't know it. We got to talking and everything, and at that time we shared the fact that we had the same disease." This comment led many to believe that Knight was also battling pancreatic cancer, the illness that claimed Franklin's life earlier that month. However, Knight's publicist, Jay Schwartz, later clarified the situation. He assured that Knight does not have pancreatic cancer, stating, "She is fine. Gladys Knight misses Michael Jackson every day." Legendary singer Gladys Knight has shared that she misses Michael Jackson every day. She knew Michael from the very beginning of his J5 days and labeled herself an older sister to Michael. She told the tabloid paper, "I still miss him every day. Me and Michael, we started at a very young age. I know his mom and dad and brothers and sister. He knew all of my kids. We were very tight together. I'm so sad that he's not here anymore. We would do shows together and afterwards sit in the lobby and just talk about life." During one particular memory, the Grammy winner said, "I remember one day he came over to my house because he was friends with my kids and we were having fun. And then he asked me something and it almost made me cry. He said, 'Gladys, how do you make a family?' I said, 'Michael, you'll be able to have one. It's got to be in your spirit. You've got to calm yourself down. It's who you love. That's what it is. You've got to take that time away, and one day, love will fall into your lap.' I think about him every day. He was an amazing young man." Early years of Gladys Knight. Despite the hardships that came in Gladys Knight's life, the singer can still be proud of her glorious career. Join us to explore the early years of this famous singer's career now. Gladys Knight was born in Atlanta, Georgia on May 28, 1944, to Sarah Elizabeth, a nurse's aide, and Merrill Woodlow Knight Sr., a postal worker. Both of her parents were active in their church choir and a local choir group. Knight has a sister named Brenda and two brothers, Merrill Bubba Jr. and David Billy. Raised in the Baptist faith, Knight began singing gospel music at the age of 4 at Mount Moriah Baptist Church in Atlanta. At 8, she won a contest on Ted Mack's The Original Amateur Hour TV show with a performance of Nat King Cole's Too Young. Shortly thereafter, Knight, along with her brother Bubba, sister Brenda, and cousins Eleanor and William Guest, performed together at Bubba's 10th birthday party after a record player malfunctioned. Encouraged by Knight's mother, the group decided to form a band and name themselves the Pips, inspired by the nickname of their cousin and manager, James "Pip" Woods. The Pips performed at churches, talent shows, and clubs, often opening for popular acts. They signed with Brunswick Records in 1957 and began releasing singles. After a few lineup changes, they released their first album in 1960, when Knight was just 16. By then, she had recorded 5 songs and released her first hit single, "Every Beat of My Heart." The group's success was briefly interrupted when Knight left to start a family with her husband and musician Jimmy Newman, but resumed when she returned to the group. Knight attended Booker T. Washington High School before transferring to Archer High School, her alma mater. How Gladys Knight became a Latter-day Saint. Religion and music became intertwined for soul legend Gladys Knight at the age of 2. "My mom and dad used to play the piano and sing and tell Bible stories," Knight told LDS Living. As a young child, Knight was a member of the children's choir at the Mount Moriah Baptist Church, her family's place of worship in Atlanta. At age 7, Knight won the TV talent contest, The Original Amateur Hour, and then started fronting a vocal group that included her siblings and cousins. Named for their original manager, her cousin James "Pip" Woods, Gladys Knight and the Pips became one of the biggest gospel-influenced soul groups of the 1960s and 1970s, releasing indelible Grammy-noticed classics like "If I Were Your Woman" and "Midnight Train to Georgia." Knight remained devoted to her Christian faith through her adult life and raised her children with religion. One of her sons would convert to the Church of Latter-day Saints, also known as the Mormons. My son Jimmy and his wife were the first to join the church after his best friend shared his testimony, Knight said. Her daughter Kenya then joined, invited her mother to some meetings, and arranged a conversation with church missionaries. The soul singer became an official member of the LDS Church in 1987 upon a baptism performed by her son. Peaked era with the Pips. Gladys Knight and the Pips joined Motown Records in 1966 with just 3 hits: Every Beat of My Heart, Giving Up, and Letter Full of Tears. Initially considered a secondary act, they soon scored major hits such as I Heard It Through the Grapevine, The Nitty Gritty, Neither One of Us Wants to Be the First to Say Goodbye, and Daddy Could Swear I Declare in 1973. They also toured with Diana Ross and the Supremes, but were eventually removed from the tour due to audience reactions overshadowing Ross. In 1973, the group left Motown for a better deal with Buddha Records and achieved greater success with hits like Midnight Train to Georgia, ranked first on both the pop and R&B charts, I've Got to Use My Imagination, The Way We Were Try to Remember, and Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me. They recorded the soundtrack for Claudine in 1974 with Curtis Mayfield, including tracks like On and Make Yours a Happy Home. The group enjoyed significant success in Europe, particularly in the UK, where Midnight Train to Georgia hit the top 5 in 1976, 3 years after its US release. They continued to have hits until the late 1970s, when legal issues led them to record separately. Knight released her first solo LPs, Miss Gladys Knight and Gladys Knight. After divorcing James Newman II in 1973, Knight married Barry Hankerson, with whom she had a son, Shanga Ali. Their marriage ended in a heated custody battle. In 1980, Knight recorded duets with Johnny Mathis and signed with Columbia Records. Gladys Knight and the Pips then released new material, including About Love and Touch. In 1983, the group hit again with Save the Overtime for Me from the LP Visions, which reached #1 on the R&B chart and was among the first R&B videos to feature hip-hop elements. They continued with hits like You're #1 in My Book. Knight shifted to a solo career in 1987, with her final LP with the Pips being All Our Love for MCA Records. The single Love Overboard became a #1 R&B hit and won a Grammy. After a successful 1988 tour, the Pips retired, and Knight continued her solo career. Gladys Knight and the Pips were inducted into the Georgia Music Hall of Fame in 1989, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1996, and the Vocal Group Hall of Fame in 2001. She starred in many renowned films and television. In 1976, Gladys Knight made her acting debut as the lead in Pipe Dreams, earning a Golden Globe nomination for New Star of the Year, Actress. In 2003, she appeared in a small role in Hollywood Homicide, starring Harrison Ford and Josh Hartnett. In 2009, Knight was featured in Tyler Perry's I Can Do Bad All by Myself, performing her song The Need to Be from her 1974 album I Feel a Song. Knight also starred in The Gladys Knight and the Pips Show in 1975, which was canceled after 4 episodes. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, she guest starred on TV series like Benson, The Jeffersons, A Different World, Living Single, The Jamie Foxx Show, and New York Undercover. In 1985, she co-starred in the CBS sitcom Charlie and Co. alongside comedian Flip Wilson. The show lasted 1 season. In April 2005, Knight portrayed a singer in an episode of Jag. She made a special guest appearance on Tyler Perry's House of Pain in April 2009, performing a song. She has also made cameo appearances on Las Vegas and 30 Rock. In 2012, Knight began a recurring role on the syndicated sitcom The First Family. That same year, Knight competed on season 14 of Dancing with the Stars, partnered with Tristan McManus. They were eliminated on April 24th after losing a dance duel to Disney Channel star Roshan Fegan and partner Chelsea Hightower during the show's Motown Week. In 2017, Knight appeared as herself on the musical drama TV series Star. In 2018, she played Ella Grover, the mother of Captain Lou Grover, in the Hawaii Five-0 episode Lelepu na Manu Like. In February 2019, Knight competed as B on the first season of The Masked Singer, where she placed third. She performed Chandelier, Locked Out of Heaven, Wrecking Ball, What's Love Got to Do with It, You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, and I Can't Make You Love Me, finishing behind Donny Osmond, Peacock, and T-Pain Monster. Her amazing solo career, farewell tours. While still with the Pips, Gladys Knight collaborated with Dionne Warwick, Stevie Wonder, and Elton John on the 1985 AIDS benefit single That's What Friends Are For, a triple #1 hit that won a Grammy for Best Pop Performance by a duo or group with vocal. In 1986, she performed with Dionne Warwick and Patti LaBelle for the HBO special Sisters in the Name of Love. On March 27, 1988, Knight sang America the Beautiful at WrestleMania 4. In 1989, she recorded License to Kill for the James Bond film, which became a top 10 hit in the UK and Germany. Her 1991 album Good Woman was her most successful solo release, hitting #1 on the R&B chart and number 45 on the Billboard album chart. It included the #2 R&B hit Men and the Grammy-nominated track Superwoman, featuring Dionne Warwick and Patti LaBelle. That year, Knight also performed the national anthem at the World Series. Her 1994 album Just For You went gold and earned a Grammy nomination for Best R&B Album. Knight founded and directs the Mormon-themed choir Saints Unified Voices, which released the Grammy-winning CD One Voice. She has also performed at LDS church events. In April 2004, Knight co-headlined VH1's benefit concert Divas Live 2004 with other stars in support of the Save the Music Foundation. In 2005, she duetted with Ray Charles on You Were There for his album Genius and Friends. In 2008, Knight performed at the Divas with Heart concert in New York and joined Jack Black, Robert Downey Jr., and Ben Stiller on American Idol for charity. In 2009, she sang at Michael Jackson's funeral and released a new recording of I Who Have Nothing in September 2011. She recorded You and I Ain't Nothin' No More for the Butler soundtrack in 2013, aiming for an Academy Award nomination. Her 2014 album, Where My Heart Belongs, marked her 30th Top 40 R&B album. In a 2014 interview, Knight expressed her concerns about the portrayal of women in the music industry, advocating for more respect in dress and presentation. In 2019, Knight performed the national anthem at Super Bowl Lee, facing criticism due to Colin Kaepernick's protests against police brutality. She defended her performance, acknowledging Kaepernick's reasons, but criticizing his method of protest. That year, she also performed at the 100th anniversary of the Delaware State Fair. In 2022, Knight received the Kennedy Center Honors from President Joe Biden and headlined a U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit dinner at the White House. In October 2009, Gladys Knight launched her farewell tour of the United Kingdom, featuring Tito Jackson as a supporting act and special appearances by Dionne Warwick. This UK farewell tour boasted higher production values compared to Knight's previous UK shows. It included a glossy program and featured pre-produced animation on large on-stage screens. The tour was promoted with an appearance on Later with Jules Holland, where Knight performed If I Were Your Woman and Help Me Make It Through the Night. Despite the farewell label, Knight resumed touring the UK in subsequent years, with performances in Scotland and England in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2019, 2022, and 2024. A farewell tour of Australia and New Zealand was announced for March 2024. She is still able to conquer the stage. Seven-time Grammy Award-winning Empress of Soul Gladys Knight captivated a sold-out crowd at the Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, with a memorable performance. For those who haven't witnessed her live, seeing Knight in concert is an extraordinary experience. At 80, she still delivers every alto note with remarkable beauty, particularly when performing her beloved hits. The Hard Rock Casino in Gary stands out among American venues for its celebration of Black American music history. From the casino floor to the concert hall, the space is adorned with stunning displays honoring this rich heritage. Gary is renowned as the birthplace of the influential Jackson family, and the casino proudly reflects this legacy. The casino floor features authentic concert outfits worn by the Jackson 5, Michael Jackson, and others. The concert hall's vestibule is essentially a Jackson family museum with painted murals dedicated to each member. Even Tito and LaToya Jackson are recognized for their contributions, while Catherine and Joe Jackson receive a particularly grand tribute. Gladys Knight's performance showcased her impressive catalog, both with the Pips and as a solo artist. The audience was spellbound as she performed timeless hits such as Love Overboard, Memories, Neither One of Us, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me, I've Got to Use My Imagination, and If I Were Your Woman. Throughout her set, Knight frequently paused to express her gratitude to God for the blessings in her life. She led the audience in worship with a medley of gospel hits, including Donnie McClurkin's Stand and Tamala Mann's Take Me to the King. As the night drew to a close, Knight left the audience with a standing ovation, finishing her performance with her iconic hit Midnight Train to Georgia alongside the Pips. The crowd joined in, adding their own choo-choo as the evening came to a close. If you have the chance to see this legendary performer live, seize it. After 7 decades in the industry, Gladys Knight continues to deliver unforgettable performances, her net worth and an everlasting legacy. Gladys Knight, revered globally as the Empress of Soul, has cultivated an extraordinary legacy through her unparalleled contributions to music and beyond. With a net worth estimated at $28 million in 2024, according to Worth Insiders, Knight's journey from the lead singer of Gladys Knight and the Pips to a solo powerhouse encapsulates a tale of enduring talent, entrepreneurial spirit, and heartfelt philanthropy. Her profound influence stretches across decades, marking her as an iconic figure whose soulful voice and charitable endeavors continue to inspire and uplift. In 1996, Gladys Knight and the Pips were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. 1 year before, Knight had received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In 2007, Knight received the Society of Singers Ella Award, at which time she was declared the Empress of Soul. She is listed on Rolling Stone's list of the greatest singers of all time. In 2021, Knight received the National Medal of Arts, and in 2022, Knight received a Kennedy Center honor. In 2023, Knight received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Beyond her musical achievements, Gladys Knight has demonstrated a keen entrepreneurial acumen. She also ventured into businesses that range from restaurants to skincare. These endeavors exemplify her savvy as a businesswoman and reflect her commitment to creating opportunities. Moreover, Knight's philanthropic efforts are as impactful as her music. She also supports initiatives focused on education, cancer research, and community development. Through her work with various charities and foundations, Knight has used her platform to advocate for change and support those in need. This further enriched her legacy as a force for good. Overall, Gladys Knight's legacy is characterized by her monumental achievements in music, business, and philanthropy. Her constant influence on the entertainment industry and her relentless commitment to making a difference in the world showcase a life of purpose and passion. Knight's remarkable career and her lasting impact on music and society is one of triumph. It has also made her a true icon whose work resonates with and inspires generations. Through her timeless music, entrepreneurial spirit, and charitable endeavors, Knight has woven a rich tapestry of achievement that celebrates the power of art to heal, connect, and empower. What do you think about the way Gladys Knight has navigated her later years? Do you believe her resilience and legacy continue to shine through despite the difficulties she's faced? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on similar content, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Your support helps us bring more stories and insights into the lives of your favorite stars. See you in the next video. See you in